have record as well.
There we go. Okay, it gave it to me. All right.
All righty.
So go ahead, Phoebe.
I'm on. Okay, welcome everyone. We're excited to have you here with us and for this next 90 minutes of really going for it. I mean, a new year is always invigorating. It's always exciting. And to be able to come together and start this year together is wonderful. And we have a wonderful lineup this morning. First, we will hear from Danielle Newell. She'll be introduced by Barbara Armstrong. And then she will train. And if you don't know what's happening with this wonderful leader, you're going to be so thrilled to hear from her. And then we'll hear from Tracy Tigman, and she'll be introduced by Dina. And Tracy is another mover shaker, and you're going to love what she's doing, and it will help you so much. And then we've got some more in store, and I will not introduce that, but you're going to really be able to understand and have a plan of action. That's our goal for today, that you leave and you have a clear path in front of you. You know what you want. I know you've been working on your goals. And one of the things that I think is so important is to look at, a lot of times we set our big goals, our long-term goals. But the short term of looking at those little things that you repeat every day to make your business successful and getting better, just a little bit better each day doing it. And what happens by the end of the year is huge. So Barb, I'm going to turn the time to you can get this going, and we're excited that all of you are here with us. We do need everyone to mute.
Thank you so much. And yeah, if you could just check and make sure that you are on mute, unless you are Danielle. I know that most of you know me. My name is Barbara Armstrong. I'm a proud independent consultant and executive national vice president with Arbonne. And I have the pleasure of introducing Danielle Newell this morning. And Danielle, I just find it interesting that we are doing this in January, and because—
Are you done your oil change already? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay, we need someone on mute. Dina, can you do that for us? Mute everybody. Okay.
Can you mute everyone and then have each person unmute themselves when they speak?
Sure. Okay. Let me just unmute. Okay, thank you for that. So Danielle, a year ago, was a consultant with Arbonne, and she had been with Arbonne for a couple of years, and you know, she had a little one, another one on the way, had a pregnancy that forced her to put her regular life as she knew it on the sidelines. And once you hear Danielle speak, you'll know that her sitting back is not an easy thing for her to do. And that's a bit of an understatement for me to say that, but not, you know, not something that she was comfortable doing. And she thought, you know what? I could build an Arbonne business. So she started in January as a consultant, I believe promoted to district by the end of February, went into area qual, finished area in March, came like this close to going into region qual, like this close. Went into region qual in April, and June 1st was a new, I think it was June 1st was a new regional vice president. And often when we see people like take these like incredible trajectories, we then see the downside of that. Well, yeah, with Danielle, there is no downside. And she has been just a really consistent regional vice president, hitting region bonuses at times, like just a total rock star. And her goal is now to go nation. And this didn't just happen. Is this common for somebody to move this quickly? Absolutely not. In fact, becoming a regional vice president puts her in the top 3% of all people in this company. If you want the details, if you're new, go to iccs.arbonne or earnings.arbonne.com. So I cannot wait. I have my pad of paper here and I am ready to take notes because school is never out for the pro. And I know that this is someone I can learn a lot from. So Danielle, take it away.
All right, just gonna do a mic check. Can you hear me okay? Everybody? Okay, perfect. All right, so I really wanted to start with the energy that I consistently bring to my day. So you should see the sticky notes. I might show you later, but vision, can you see this? Let's see here. Vision, celebrate. I don't know if I'm allowed to play music, but it's gonna happen right now. This is my messy house. Okay. So that was just how I wanted to start because I feel like just me explaining my story and, talking is not who I am. I'm energetic, I'm passionate, I'm crazy, I'm wild, I'm a really bad dancer. But really, honestly, what is your vision? So let's talk about that together because that's what I want to be here. Let's take this off. Well, I could leave it on. I want to bring value to this. So every time I come onto one of these calls, I honestly bring something away. So I hope today that I might be that person, or obviously one of these wonderful speakers today will be. But I really want to talk about how you can take action. I want to share my activity, but let's talk about vision first. Did you guys see all these? I don't know how I'm going to read them off to you and just kind of explain. So 2021, it's happening. It's happening. There's no option. It is happening. So the first one I've shown was my backyard. I don't know, I lost it now in that, but it said a backyard retreat. So it is in my vision and I've thought about it for so long. We're building a house right now. And all I can think about is how big of a table can I put in the backyard for my giant team for this summer when hopefully we can get together. Backyard retreat, that is my vision. The next one, and some of you, my husband and I have been working on this. We haven't told anyone, so this is the first time I'm telling someone, and it makes me shake crazy, but I have my own fitness app. You can't see that, but that's what it says. So I am a personal trainer. That is my thing. That's what people know me by. You'll hear a bit of my story, but having a fitness app is a huge dream. My husband and I have been working on it for a couple of months, and it's going to happen this year because it should have happened already. The last one was I am an MVP. I'm going to be. It's happening. So I want to ask you, what do you want? What do you want? Because listen, we get to work towards it. We have the opportunity and it's not an obligation. Let me say that again. We get to work. It's an opportunity. It's not an obligation. The key is consistency. And I'm going to talk to you about that. I have so many notes here. Don't just do enough to get by. Expect more and get more. Expect more and get more. So what do you want? Show up when it gets hard. For me, 2020, I could label it as I was put on bed rest. I had a baby in a pandemic. An important family member got cancer. I could say all those things. And yes, I went through those challenges, but I can also say that I had an incredible year. I was an IC to DM, as Barb said, and all the way to RVP. And it was amazing. And I did not have that vision at this time last year. And so I want to share that with you. And I want to share you, okay, here's your goals, here's your backyard, here's your fitness app, whatever it is, how to get to it. So you guys, it might not work for you, or it might give you an idea. I just think hearing someone else's activity, ideas, it's refreshing hearing it from someone else other than your upline. And I love my upline. Big shout out to them and everybody on this call. Thank you for showing up. But it's nice to have other people. And that's why I always love these training calls. Okay, so let's get to my notes here because I have so many. All right, so I just want to thank the hosts who are lovely ladies and thank everybody for showing up. That's one hard thing to do. So thank you for showing up on your Saturday. All right, so the quick version of my story, because I really want to focus on my activity month to month is what I'm going to tell you what I did. I've been in the business for 2 years. I tell everybody that I was in the business or I am in the business for 1 year because for the first year, I was a product user. I was not working the business. I was undecided. January 6th of 2020, I was decided. I decided I was going to go for it and I did. My background, I had my own fitness studio, Renewal Fitness. My name's Danielle Newell and Renewal Region now, hopefully soon to be nation. And I love fitness. I love it so much. I was lost this year at the start of 2020 when I was put on bed rest. And that's kind of where the explosion came from. But I grew my own fitness studio for 10 years. I ran it and I put everything into it. And I built such a big community and built trust and built rapport with people. And so I really want to share that because yes, I went fast or quick, but I also had 10 years of, you know, what we do every day in Arbonne. I was pretty much working Arbonne before I was working Arbonne. And so that has a really big part of it. Okay, so Megan, who my upline is, and she gave me a pamper basket. So I might have made you laugh at the beginning or made you smile. And I'm going to kind of talk into some deep things as I'm a really open person. And I find it has a lot to do with my story. As I had said in the beginning, bed rest, baby in a pandemic, family cancer. I've myself had 2 miscarriages. And it was after my second miscarriage in 2018, Megan had dropped me off a pamper basket. And that's how I joined the business, guys. A pamper basket. I had been asked thousands of times to join the business. It just wasn't in the right way. So I want you to think of that as well when you're asking people, when is the right time? So again, I took that pamper basket. I loved on it. As we know, the products are amazing. And I started to use the products. I was uncoachable in the beginning. I had a closed mindset. I did not want any help or anything. I just wanted to share with some of my clients, but mostly just do it for the discount at the beginning. So right now, if you have people in your line that are in it for the discount, don't ever count them out. They are so important. So I want to just throw some numbers. I'm a huge numbers person. I'm sorry if you are not. So in 2019, when I was working for the discount, I did about 8,000 QV, and that's personally. In 2020, personally, I did 162,000. So big difference in between the discount person and the working the business. I sponsored in 2019 personally 10 people. And in 2020, I sponsored 178. So again, big difference in using for the discount and working the business. I like to say that because I constantly am checking in on people. I have, I think, 50 team members, and I constantly am checking in. How's it going? You don't know what's going on in someone's life when they need a change, when they need a refresh, when they need an opportunity. So constantly, guys, be on that. I do it monthly, sometimes twice a month, and I don't find it annoying. I always make it personal, do a video, and usually most of the time they get right back to me. So keep that in mind, always checking in on those ICs. So the quick version is I got the pamper basket and then I started to do the business. Okay, so I started to do the business last January. What did I do in January? Let's talk about it because I'm going to go month to month. I hope you have a pen and paper and you maybe want to take some notes. I'm going to just give you a quick highlight of each month. Now, here's some more numbers and stats for you. From January to May, I did my most sponsoring. That was when I was on fire. I also had a baby at the start of June. So from June to December, I was really trying to adapt to my new region and a baby and a pandemic. So really just trying to get the world understanding, right? So my energy, my high, you'll hear it in my activity, was from January to May. So January, I was going to tell you numbers quick. So January to May, I did 147 sponsors and 14 teammates personally. And then in the second half of the year, I want to say only, but I still sponsored 28 and 9 teammates. So really had a huge start of the year. So let's get to the activity. This is what I'm here for. And this is what, when I was asked to speak, I said, can I just share ideas? Can I just share what I did? Because that's what I find when someone talks again on a call. I just like hearing it in a different way. And I'll try to keep my time on. I think I have 25 minutes and I got 15 minutes. So it's all activity from here on out, January. So
Can you
I
be
just
quiet?
I decided in January, I made a post. I told people I went to work right away. The biggest thing that I think I do, and I need to get back into it, is instead of just posting a selfie, say, or telling someone, oh, I drink fizz, it's why. Tell them why it fits into your life and what value it brings. So I was doing a lot of that in the beginning, and I really think that goes a long way rather than a boomerang if you're doing social media or telling someone, hey, have a fizz sample. Well, how do you use it? And what do you, and I'm going to get to the follow-ups later, but telling people why. The next one was videos to my dream team. Oh my gosh, I love rewatching this. I was going to play it for you guys, but it's about 4 minutes. I didn't want to waste that time. This is the whole idea. Okay. So I messaged them being raw and honest as I am, saying, I'm doing this thing. I'm working this business. I don't even know. I see people going on trips. I see people doing this and that. And I think that's crazy, but I think I want to do it. And I think that you would do it great with me. And you have the personality traits that I want in a team. I don't want to do this alone. I want to do it with a team. So I just went through and said all those things in a video message, just how I am now, with a big smile on my face, with that honesty. And at the end, I ended it. And I always end these in my conversations of business asks. No worries if you're not into it. No worries at all. I just really had to ask you. So I sent about 10 of those in January. And I want to tell you, I have 5 of those people on my team. So that's great. I'm still working. You know what? One messaged me yesterday too. I'm really excited about. But those are my 10 that I started with Dream Team members. And then my biggest thing, I think, of my whole business was I made a PC group right away. Literally the day that the first person signed up, it was me and her in a group. And I posted recipes and I posted a giveaway with her, and I posted how I use the product, tutorials and everything. So really, really big value. And that was through Messenger. I'm the queen of Messenger groups. So we'll get to the PC group and some more ideas later, but that was basically January. I decided I video messaged my dream team. I showed more of how I was using the product and why, what value it brought, because I really think we underestimate explaining to someone how it fits into our life. That could happen and help other people the exact same way. Okay, so February was a really crazy month. I went to Florida for 2 weeks on vacation, and I came home and I had the flu for 4 weeks, pregnancy flu. It was not good, but I still showed up for my business because that was the decision I decided in January. One of the next biggest things in my business was my husband did the 30-day plan. This guy is married to a personal trainer and has never stuck, and I've tried everything and fitness and everything, and he just wasn't with it. He stuck to the 30-day plan. He did incredible. He shared it with everybody. He did posts, and people just saw it. I would take pictures and he'd be like, people would say, is that your husband? So it was really cool. And it really, I think, exploded my business into March when he finished his 30-day, which I'll get to. Starting to create vision and following other Arbonne ICs was a really big thing for me. I really love Fit Annie, which I'm sure a lot of you know, as a personal trainer, and just watching. She has a lot of the same kind of qualities and characteristics as myself. So I really like looking at that. I love, again, our upline and our tree, but it's nice to kind of go into different directions. The value of these calls, guys. I think I jumped on in January and I heard someone talking about vision and I was like, I'm not into that. I jumped back in on February and I heard this skincare Zoom call and it changed the way I talk to people about skincare. So I'm telling you, all these trainings that we offer and that our lovely community has, do them and get into them because you learn so much. And even if you take away one thing, that could change your business. So this lady talked about, I can't remember her name, blonde, beautiful, of course. V-neck, white V-neck shirt, because she talked about how she put everything all the way down her, and I had only done this part of my face. Anyways, she talked about baking a cake. I'm sure you guys know this, and where she took out a couple ingredients and how the cake was okay, but it wasn't great. And so, like skincare, buying and getting the whole set is much more value. So that just stuck with me, and I really got into that. Also, product promoting. So talking to your PCs. I started with Fizz and then I went to skincare. So everybody, like 90% of my clients all started with Fizz too, because that's just what I was comfortable with. And then I asked them in the next couple of months, what are you doing next? So I don't know if you talk to your PCs and give product recommendations, but I think it's really important to say, why don't you try this? Most of the time, guys, they do, especially if it's a personal conversation. And you've done it yourself. It's always good if you've done it. So I sponsored 26 in February. 19 of them were from samples. So let's end February on samples, and we'll kind of move through the rest of the month. So samples, 3 days is like I'm spamming them, and spamming them in a good way. As soon as I drop off, I say, message me when you use your Fizz stick, and here is my sample advice. So I tell them how I take it, how much water, watch that it's going to fizz. If you go to Starbucks, you can throw your fizz in there. So I'm telling them all the ways, again, the whys of what I do it. I take it at this time and then at this time. So it's so specific, and that's just in my notes, and I copy and paste that to each person. The next thing is I send them the free gift list, even if they haven't. And I'm like, hey, we'll talk about this later. Then they see all these great products and they kind of have that there. The next thing is we kind of talk about the fizz, how they liked it. We talk about flavors. And then that's the usual time that I say, hey, look at my website. Here's the steps to sign up, because listen, I am not great at computers. And so if you need help, here's the steps to sign up. I would really love, though, if you could message me and tell me when you're going to order so we can do it together to get you the best value. So guys, the system of that was so key. And it was like this every time. 3 days, they were getting all these things. And usually by day 3, people were signing up. So again, I signed up 26 in February, and 19 of them were from samples. So really cool. I'm the sample queen, I think. Okay, March. So March 5th is a date I will remember. If you have not ugly cried from a paycheck, you will someday, because that was when I saw the vision of, oh, wow, this is possible. Guys, I was really uncoachable for the first 2 months. I just went to my community. I was excited. I did whatever. In March, I found out, oh, there's a system. We can duplicate. We can do this, 8 and 2, whatever it may be, right? The daily method of success, which I started in March. There's so much out there. So make sure you get all the information, have a coaching call, and do all that right away if you haven't do that. But that really made a difference in my business, was having that. Also, I started doing photo content. So I don't know if you do that, but I took a bunch of pictures at one time. So like today I did my hair and makeup. So I'll probably go upstairs after and like take some photos, because tomorrow I might not look like this, and not like you always have to present yourself, but it's just nice to have some content ready depending on how busy your life is. And my husband finished the 30 days. This again was life-changing for him, for my business. And he told everybody. So going forward, the next group, I did a men's group and I did a ladies group, and I promoted that on my social platforms. And I would tell people in private conversations to sign up. Hey, here's the men's list. Do you want on this list? I think creating a list and having spots is really key. It created urgency. After that point in my business, all the way to June, guys, every 2 weeks, my team ran a 30-day every 2 weeks. It just was so consistent. You always had something to talk about. Again, the date and urgency, those lists get on. And whether there was 4 people, or I think our biggest one was 32, you really have that date to kind of drive you. So that was my March. Oh, and I started using a whiteboard. And I still use this whiteboard, not as often, and I'm going to get into it now that I'm back on track, is using it for my total QV for the month, crossing it off. So that's at the bottom of my whiteboard. The middle is my activity for the day. What am I doing? Am I doing a live? Am I doing a giveaway? Am I doing samples? Am I doing a virtual party? The activity every day, there's something there. And then the top is my regular schedule. So you could just see, okay, today we have this, this, and this, which isn't a lot these days, but you have your life schedule, you have your activity with Arbonne, and you have your whole month in QV breakdown, like 100 QV, 500, 1,000, whatever your goal is for the end of the month, and you get to cross it off. I really found that kept me on track. Okay, so April, this is when we started doing virtual parties, and I'm gonna go really quick through the end part of the month, because again, this is when my most activity was. So hopefully, again, you're still with me and listening to all this great stuff. Virtuals, we started to do virtual parties. Guys, why are we not doing these more? Or why am I in my team? Because there's so much we can do. When I ran my studio every month, it was a month-to-month studio. I had to think of something exciting for my clients to want for them to go. And usually it was St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day. It was around a holiday, right? So I will talk about that at the end because I have things already planned for this year that I'll share with you. But virtual parties, obviously we all know how great they were. That was the first time I actually did an event I did Mother's Day. And I was just explaining this to someone else. They're like, what do you mean event? So I made a flyer. I said, here's your Mother's Day basket. And then the next one said, here's the itinerary, how to use the basket. And then the next flyer said, join your mom virtually. And, you know, people were purchasing these for your mom, door-to-door service and all that stuff. So that worked out really well. Making your own event, creating flyers about that. And then the last thing for April was really telling people who you are more. In the first couple months of my business, I found all my posts and all my sharing was like Arbonne, Arbonne, Arbonne. And then I needed to think, okay, I'm more than that. I love that, but I need to show people that I'm, you know, my personal trainer, that I have my kids, my dog, we eat healthy, like opening it up, not just to be spammy Arbonne, which maybe some of you are like, oh, that's me right now. Okay, so May was the month I promoted. I did virtuals. May was also the month that post right before baby. I was a month due and I did virtuals crazy. Sometimes I did 6 in a row and I was so pregnant. But it was the easiest way to get in front of people. And so I have some virtuals planned for the end of the month and going forward, like I said. So let's talk about those quick, some ideas. Having a virtual and asking someone to host so you can show them your favorite things. Label it favorite things. Hey, do you want to come to my party where my friend's going to talk about her favorite things, healthy things, whatever it may be. And again, really just going with that idea and creating excitement. The next thing for Valentine's Day this year, I'm going to create a singles and a couples shopping kit. And so they can purchase either of those, again, on a flyer and talking to people, hey, do you have a gift yet? Hey, here's a good idea. It ships right to your door. So again, really going with all that stuff. March, like I said, and all the other months have these different holidays, Mother's Day. So just creating excitement around that. Okay, so DM groups. This is one of my favorite and which I think made a big difference. I have 10 district managers and they've all been in separate groups and they've all promoted guys at the same time. So 4 were in April, another 4 were in, I think, May, and then 2 were just in November. So they've all kind of done it together and I put them in a group, just like my PC group, and create energy. Hey, when are you doing your activity? What are you doing? Hey, did you see this s'more? Did you see this? And it's constant engagement in that group on that topic, on them bonusing, on them promoting. And so now I have all my DMs in a group and I really think the messenger thread of those like-minded people, of those people going after the same thing. So you can talk. I have one for my team. And I think that's really great. In June, I did an event, Green Shot Club. And again, creating energy, creating a date. And that was something that was successful for me. Things that I think that are great to do to your team. I'm wrapping up here. I got 2 minutes. Things that are great to do for your team. Giving them value as a gift. So a lot of the time throughout the summer, I actually gave a lot of my DMs gifts that were wrapped, but not for them, to use as a giveaway, to use as a gift to a PC, to use as a pamper basket. So I would personally go to the dollar store, make up a couple things, put it in a little baggie and gift them that. I really like gifting, but I thought, here's an idea. Instead of you having to do it all, here's it right here. Do what you want with it. Let me know what you do. So it gives them kind of something. Also, when we'd hang out, we did some social distant hangout. We did a photo shoot. So we'd create some contact, and then we would talk about our dream team. So that's something I really try to do with my team, is create the energy of giving them something that they can give away, doing some photo content and talking about your dream team. Just a quick team meeting that you could do. Okay, so my PC group, guys, this is kind of where I'll end, and then I'll wrap it up, because I don't want to say the rest of the month isn't great, but there's not a lot of great ideas. Most of them were at the start of the year. My PC group, honestly, it did itself. It was amazing. People, I personally messaged, hey, when you get your thing, can you post it to the group, your box? Hey, when you try your face mask, can you post a selfie? So people started posting in this group, and it just created this ripple effect. It was amazing. Then I would say, how many boxes of fizz did you buy this month? I'm going to put you guys in a draw to win. So I would always do incentives on the month and giveaways. At the start of August, this is what I have written down here. I put 10 goodie bags, and they were just white bags, and I labeled them 1 to 10. And I said, the first 10 people to order are going to get a goodie bag. And it had, and then I showed after what the goodie bag had. It had a stick, a tea, and a fit chew. 10 people ordered day one. Like, it was crazy. Everybody wanted it. So it's just small things like that that you do. And again, creating the community with that. One girl bought an age well set because someone else commented in the group, I wish I would have bought this sooner. So like, you're just, again, creating that community in the group of them bettering themselves. I call it Arbonne self-love, and I love it. I think that's basically all I want to cover on activity. I tried to give a little bit of everything. January is what I want to finish with. That's it. Okay. So for January, I started off, I made a thermometer for the trip. I earned the trip last year. I'm earning it again this year. I am 2021. It's happening. And so I made a thermometer for that. I also did a tracker for my activity on my whiteboard. What am I doing? Been doing activity every day. Back in the daily method of success. 30 days every 2 weeks now. Created an event for the end of the month to create excitement, to have a flyer to say, hey, come and do this. And so really, again, guys, attacking with activity, attacking in a good way, but like, don't just do enough to get by, do more than that, right? And you do things that are going to happen and you're going to create excitement. That's what I really want to say, is I constantly am creating excitement and trying to get other people to join. I really, really think those sample notes and messaging people your personal value in those products are a really big thing to do as well. And I think that's what I'm going to leave you on. I want you to make some activity. I want you to go put on a pump up song and say, I am, with a bunch of things. And I want you to have a great year, because you choose if you do. Thank you.
Danielle, thank you so much. I mean, I've got writer's cramp. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I love that it's really up to you, and we get to choose. And to me, that's one of the greatest gifts with Arbonne. But if we choose to become a region, an area, a nation, there's activity that goes along with that. And I love that you talk about not only attacking with activity, but all the activity that you've done. So I would love it if you could share, maybe on the Trendsetters United, or if you just send it to me, then I can distribute it, your 4-minute video. Would love to see that. But thank you for getting up on a Saturday morning. The quiet around you has been complete, you know, which is pretty amazing when you have a husband, a dog, and 2 kids under the age of what, 3? You know, so pretty outstanding. So thank you, thank you, thank you. What a great way to start. I'm going to pass things back over to Dina now, and she's going to take it from here. So thank you, Danielle.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was just incredible. And now I can't wait to introduce Tracy. And Tracy, I always blow your last name, so you're going to have to tell us how you pronounce your last name, because I always say it incorrect. But I'm so excited to have Tracy on with us today. Tracy became a regional vice president 2 years ago, and she's going to tell your story. But every time we talk, I always record her because she has such gems of what she's doing to build her business. So I'm just so excited for her to come on and share with you. Miss Tracy, are you there, babe?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I'm just trying to see you. Let's
Okay. Well, I'm Tracy Tillman. It's just Tillman. That's what I tell everybody. And you'll remember my name because my daughter has a nickname. But I live here in Ocean City, Maryland. It's a resort town. It's a beach town here on the East Coast. And before Arbonne, I was a hotel GM, and I'll get into that in a minute. And for 20 years, and was on that no way out syndrome, and I didn't know what to do. And a complete stranger introduced me to Arbonne. And you know what? I saw the vision because I went to a meeting back in the olden days, and up to Columbia, Maryland, and there was a couple of NVPs up there. And I just was like, I have to do this. And I was ignorance on fire. And now I get to live in Ocean City, but I don't have to work here. So I love it. But Dina just wanted me to talk to you today a little bit about like a numbers game. I'm sure all of you have heard that at one point in your business. And sometimes, we get so caught up in the number that it turns into chasing volume, which then becomes a retail mindset. And when you chase volume, it turns into a lot of customers, which I'm going to tell you at the end of the day, month, and year is so exhausting. And it's such a dangerous hamster wheel. It can turn into a burn and churn. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got stuck on that hamster wheel because I was keeping my focus on volume. I was holding on to my title by getting to maintenance. And I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but it's tiring. And I had a volume maintenance mindset. And by chasing volume, chasing my bonus, and chasing maintenance every month, what happened was I wasn't chasing the build. And that thinking came from scarcity and not really understanding what the big picture looked like. But with a lot of coaching from my fabulous upline, Dina and Dana, and a little green book, if you haven't read it, it's called Prosperity Mind by Randy Gage. Get it. Because of that book and Dina and Dana, I was able to get off that hamster wheel, and I was able to let go and have faith. And I set my focus on the build volume by launching new people. So I'm going to say that again. I set my focus on the build volume, okay, by launching new people and having the faith that I was going to launch people and going out on that skinny branch. Because by chasing volume, you're going after the wrong number. You have to build your way to the top with this business. You want to build people, not volume. Pull them into the community, holding their hands, encouraging them, building them up, invest in them, speaking to them to what they could be. Lock arms with them that you're not doing this, we're doing this, girl. Come on, let's do this. And showing people the business plan and the opportunity. That is the number you want to chase. Who can I talk to today? Everyone on my team will tell you when asked, what is your favorite product, Tracy? And they all know the answer. It's the business. When you identify someone that you want to talk to about the business, focus on getting them off social media and get them on the phone. Did you know that you have a 35 times more success rate with a face-to-face personal conversation? 35 times more. They want to hear the excitement in your voice. And like you're going to hear a lot on this call today, follow up, follow up, follow up. Keep these people on your radar. Keep them in your pipeline. Build that relationship. So my daughter, I have a 17-year-old daughter now, which back in the day, when she was younger, all her friends now call me Mama T, the storyteller. Because when Emily would have sleepovers and her parents were always amazed that I had them sound asleep by 9 p.m. and I would get them settled in and tell them a story, and within minutes, they'd all be fast asleep. So I have a couple of stories that I want to share with you. Well, hopefully you guys won't fall asleep. But what I said before, I was in the hotel industry prior to Arbonne. I worked with this gal named Ruth. And Ruth has an incredibly high work ethic and is a person of influence. So she was on my radar. On one of my many follow-ups with her, we met and I asked her to take another peek at the business. She turned me down flat again. And then I asked her this one question. I said, Ruth, who do you know? I'm taking my Arbonne business to the next level and I'm looking for that one great person to show this opportunity to. Someone who has a strong work ethic, someone who's a self-starter and has a high influence in their community. Who do you know, Ruth? Who do you know that I could chat with for just a few minutes? And right away, I could see her wheels spinning. So she introduced me to her high school friend, Barb, from Cape May, New Jersey. Barb said yes. And at one of Barb's events, I met Meg, and Meg said yes. And at one of Meg's events, I met Katie, and Katie said yes. So get this, now Barb is an executive district manager who sponsored Meg, who is an executive district manager who sponsored Katie. One
That's why
conversation.
it cut out here.
One conversation changed my business. Have those business conversations. Who is in your pipeline that you can talk to right now? And in the beginning of your business, what are my friends going to think is sometimes the first thing a new consultant will say. I even said it a million times. But you know what? Your why will get you over that hurdle and a lot of snags. You want to be crystal clear on your why. We have a simple roadmap to get someone started. So with, this is the roadmap, right? So you're going to book, you have someone that signs up, you're going to have them book 8 Facebook pop-up events in the first 2 weeks of their business. Get out that 100 name list. And let's face it, 20 of those people on that 100 names are people that they're going to be comfortable talking to, right? So, and then you want to get 8 out of those 20 people to host an event so you can get in front of their warm market. Those 8 people will get you in front of 100 people, and those 100 people will give you the activity you need to successfully launch your business. So who can you find that will come in with a full calendar? 8 events in their first 2 weeks of their business. Do not lower the bar. 8 no matter what. This is so important not to lower that number. This will set you and your new consultant up with a mindset for sponsoring and the right number to focus on. So a DM promotion will come from holding them to the 8 events in 14 days. You want to work with them and help with your new consultant sponsor at least 5 preferred clients or consultants. Help them with their list. Who are they going to talk to about the business? Get them a business partner right away. Right out of the gate, you want your new consultant talking about the business and telling people about this opportunity. So, okay, so here's the story, right? I have a DM who just recently promoted. Her name's Stacy. She said yes to the business when I called her to say hi on one of my many follow-ups with her. She's a teacher. And when I asked her, it just happened to be the last day of school for her in June. I asked her, Stacy, what are you doing this summer? She said, I don't have any. And I said, oh my God, girl, you should take another look at Arbonne. Stacy and I went to high school together out on Long Island, New York. And we even found out, like on these meeting Zooms, that we even dated the same guy. So it's just so funny what you can find out on your team Zoomcast. But back to Stacy, I pushed her to do the 8 Facebook pop-up events. And with a little nudging, because we only had 7, she got the 8th on the last day of the month. It was Saturday at 9 a.m. and she promoted to DM. She has a total of 12. When she promoted, she had a total of 12 preferred clients and independent consultants in her organization. 7 of them got on the 30-day, and 4 of those clients she got from that last 8th party. That 8th party changed her whole business because Laura was in that 8th party, and Laura is in qualification for district, and now she's working on getting her 8. So Stacy and Laura and the rest of my great team, we're committed and we've locked arms to just really lean into this system, because this system is just wonderful. You know, this is a relationship business. We all know you got to get buckle to buckle. You have to have those purposeful business conversations and get people off social media. You want to implement with your team and hold that bar high. Because what's going to happen when you do this, you will shift from a volume numbers to building people's number. So go out on that skinny branch with your team. And when that happens, the best part about the skinny branch is that when you're out there, your volume, your bonuses, your incentives will come, plus your team will grow. So I always ask people who wants to join me on the skinny branch, because there's room enough for everybody. And I'm committed to each and every one of my team to help them level up. And the best way to make sure you're staying the course and moving forward is by using the Daily Method for Success sheet. This sheet is, I am in love with this sheet. I have to tell you, you guys, I've been filling one out since August, and I've been sending them to Dana every single night. They are amazing. And what you want to do is you want to set your focus on the last 2 items. 1 new booked every day, 4 or more completed every week. That means you're in activity. When you focus on those 2 activities on your Daily Method sheet, the rest of the sheet you'll fill out. And I'm going to tell you right now, do more. Fill out, I challenge you to fill out more than 1 of these a day and send them to your upline. They will not be mad when you text them at midnight. They won't. I do it all the time. Because this is the frog you want to eat first. You want to have 1 new pop-up booked, or Facebook or Zoom booked every single day. And you want to have 1 completed every day. Book 1, complete 1, book 1, complete 1. That's the frog you want to eat first. And get into the habit of doing this. And like I said, I send this sheet every single day to Dana, and she doesn't mind a bit. But I challenge you to send this to your upline for 30 days. Just do this for 30 days, and you're going to be blown away at what your business will look like. Because let's face it, if you do anything for 30 days, it becomes a habit. It's just like our 30-day program. And these last few months have been incredible. We have full calendars, promotions, qualifications, new team members, and watching the excitement and the energy and bonding that my team is experiencing. Oh my God, I'm so grateful. I'm speechless. I'm humble. But just by making these few tweaks in our business, we have become unstoppable. So embrace the system, and remember, the only thing you should ever compare is a full calendar. That's what I compare with my team. We have a calendar swap once a month, and we pull them out and they tell me what's on them, because a full calendar is a game changer. So that's all I really wanted to share with you today. I keep mine short and sweet. But if there's anything I forgot, Dina, let me know.
That was awesome. You know, what I wanted her to share with you was her incredible doing that daily method. I mean, that, you know, I'm going to rat on Tracy for a couple minutes, because we have a couple minutes extra. She wasn't a 2-year wonder. She had been in Arbonne for a long time when something clicked and she decided to go for it. She became an area and then kind of hung out for a bit, and then really decided she had to have that moment of decision again to go for RVP. And that's really what it was. And it was having that full calendar. So she wasn't the overnight success. She'd been hang out for a long time. So you've got listening to Danielle, and you've got listening to Tracy. You've got, 1 of each. That it was just that those magic moments for Tracy when she decided. And I watched it happen, but it was all in the activity and being accountable to her upline.
Yeah,
that's what did it for her. Absolutely. Thank you, girl.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate
My
you
pleasure.
so much. Appreciate you so much. So now we have to see if I can get, this is where I have a whole hard time getting them. Let's see, remove the spotlight. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I did that right. And let's view this back. And all right, I'm going to turn the time over now to Miss Pamela.
Wonderful. Thanks, Dina. So what we're going to be jumping into right now is we're going to be jumping into the 30 in 30. And I know that many of you have heard about this before. And when you're going to tackle something like this, you're really going to do this because you are wanting to get yourself into that secret M word momentum, right? We want to get into momentum. And starting the new year off, a lot of us have some big goals. It might be earning AIT. It might be promoting to district manager or area manager in the month of January. But whatever it is, we want to get a full calendar. And to get that full calendar, because a lot of us might be sitting here right now thinking, geez, I'm not doing what Tracy's saying, or I'm not doing what Danielle was saying, and I'm not doing that day in and day out activity. Well, what we want to do is we really want to focus on getting into that daily activity. And it's one of those things that once you really get the wheels going and turning, it's way easier to stay in it once you're in it. And so once you kind of got the wheels going, and that's where we want to take a look at the 30 and 30. So I know, Dina, you're going to play the video for us, right? Yeah, Dina's going to play a video, and you may have seen this video before, but Dina's going to pull up and play the video for us. And this is really taking a look at what we're going to be doing with this 30 and 30. And then we're going to have somebody else that's going to help us speak about it as well. I know it just takes a second. You're just muted, Dina, but that's okay. She's just going to pull it up. So I'm just going to keep talking then. Oh, there it goes. We were already practicing this today. Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. I don't know if you have to mute yourself, Dina, because we can't hear it. Yeah, you're muted, Dina.
And push that.
There, perfect.
Turn up your volume.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley Stone, and I'm a National Vice President out of Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm so excited today to share with you a little bit about the results that my team has had.
Sorry, I didn't have the sound up loud enough. Let me check the sound here again.
There.
Okay.
Using the method that we call 30 in 30. About 1 year ago, I guess it was, my team started coming to me and saying, listen, we know that we're supposed to be getting in front of 30 people a month and telling the whole story. I mean, we've heard that for years, right? Sarah Davenport has said that, Kathy Lutz has said that, and they're saying we really want to. We're trying to book presentations, but we can't get anybody to answer the phone, and we can't get them on our books. And I kept telling people, well, you're just not calling enough people, which absolutely could be true. But truthfully, I was having a hard time getting people to answer my phone calls too. So I thought, you know what can we do? About that time, I watched a YouTube video by GoPro author Eric Worre, and he talked about texting in your business and how times have changed. People don't answer their phones anymore, and we've got to utilize texting. And he set out a text challenge. And I took that, modified it a little bit to make it a little bit more Arbonne-like, and I sent that out as a challenge to my team. I told them to simply text out as many people as they needed to, at least 30, with just a very non-direct approach. Hey, I'm in a challenge with my Arbonne team to get in front of 30 people for a 20-minute quick overview of Arbonne. I totally get that it may or may not be a fit for you, but I just need a set of ears just looking to spread the word. Can I buy you a cup of coffee and I'll bring you samples as a thank you? Would you be willing to be one of my 30? And I put out a challenge and said, hey, if you can copy and paste, you can do this. All I'm asking you to do is copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and text it out. And you know what happened? People that were paralyzed by the phone thought, hey, we can do this. They started texting like crazy, and one by one, the results started flying in. Somebody that completed that challenge that month and actually got in front of 30 people was Regional Vice President Rebecca Peru. At the time, Rebecca was kind of a stagnant area manager. She was feeling a little bit stuck. She got in front of 30 people that month. And out of those 30 people, 4 people signed up, 3 as a preferred client and 1 as a consultant. So you might be thinking, that's okay. That's not fabulous results. But I challenged her, do it again next month. So she did. She got in front of 30 more people the next month. And you guessed it, the people from the first month started coming around. They started booking parties off of those coffee appointments. They started, coming to discover Arbonne and getting their second and third and fourth exposures. All the while, she was getting in front of 30 people the next month. 3 months later, she was in region qual. And 4 months later, completed region and is now doing close to $100,000 just 6 months later in her region. So it works. As people started seeing the results that she had, everybody else started getting on board. People that had kind of fizzled out in their businesses came back because we said to them, can you just send 30 texts? And that felt very doable, and it wasn't scary like picking up the phone is. Another reason that this works is that it's a very non-direct approach. We find that if you might text that same person or call that same person and say, hey, would you book an Arbonne presentation for me? And they're going to say, nope, no, thank you. But if you text them and say, hey, I totally get it, might not be for you. I just need 20 minutes of your time. Would you hear an overview of Arbonne? Most of the time they will say yes to that. And from that appointment, you can then book the party off of it. Or even sponsor them. But if they're not interested in business, you can say, no worries, you know what? I'm looking to meet new people. Is there any way you'd grab 3 or 4 friends for me? And I'll make sure you get some free and discounted stuff. And most of the time, that same person that would have told you no, had you just asked for the party initially, will say yes to the coffee appointment, and then we'll book the party off of that. Once they've heard the whole story, people have to hear the whole story in order for them to say yes. It works, I promise you. We went to nation on this system. We have a new regional vice president. We have 3 in qualification for region. They have all followed this system. We promoted 8 area managers in the last 6 months, and we have more in qual. So it works when you get somebody started. It's easy peasy. We have them book 2 group presentations, and then we have them send 20 text messages right then and there. And it's a really easy way to get their business started. By the way, we use third-party validation in this. So we send with them, if at all possible, the upline area manager or regional vice president to really, really validate and help them know what to say and to close out those appointments. It's just a reach out method. This doesn't replace your system. You're still going to do one-on-ones, group presentations, whatever your upline tells you to do. But this is just a way to reach out to people in a very, very simple method. If you can copy and paste, you can do this and you can go to the top of this company.
That's great. And I can just add a little bit more to that, Dina. How we came back to this is the Canadian NVPs had a little leadership meeting, and one of the newest ENVPs in Canada, her name's Carly Pinchin, she was sharing some of the things that she's done, why her team has been able to become so incredibly successful so quickly. She just promoted another national vice president as of January 1, which is really, really great. So her business is on fire. She's in the top 10 of income earners only after a couple years. So they're following the same system, but instead of saying, hey, I'm in a challenge with my team for brand new people that you're launching, they use the terminology, I need to do 30 practice calls. And that is really the thing that I have noticed in my own business is if I don't have a new business partner doing those 30 practice calls, they never learn the confidence to be able to talk about the Arbonne business and the Arbonne opportunity. So yes, you will have somebody alongside helping you, but Carly says, and this is in my practice as well, usually after you've heard 5 or 6 is Arbonne for Yous, you are comfortable and you feel better about taking the lead and being able to do these calls. And so I'm really excited because one of the best leaders in my business that really knocks us out of the park is Regional Vice President Kelly Wren. And Kelly's going to jump on and share with you a little bit more about that is Arbonne for You.
Thanks, Pam. I just want to preface by saying I'm on my own with my puppy, and I'm hoping he behaves because no one else is home. I just want to show you guys real quick if you can see this. I brought his 2 dog beds up, and he's not on either one of them. He's kind of laying in between them, but I'm hoping he's going to behave over the next few minutes. So thank you for that, Pam. And I always love watching that Ashley Stone video. It's so inspiring. And just to kind of, I guess, introduce myself. First of all, thank you guys for having this call because I love the Saturday morning call. It's such a great way to start the weekend. Danielle and Tracy, you guys are amazing. And I have so many notes and things that I want to implement after this call. I just want to say thank you because I know it takes a lot of effort to put these together. So just, a bit of background on me. I'm actually celebrating 8 years in Arbonne as of February. It feels like I just started yesterday. I feel like I have the excitement of a brand new consultant right now. I don't know if anyone else feels that way who's been in for a while, but the first couple weeks of my business, I couldn't sleep because I was so excited about my business. And that's honestly how I feel right now. I just feel like Arbonne is knocking it out of the park. We've had so much growth. And I just feel the same way Danielle, like I love that like 2021, like this is the year. And that's exactly how I feel. So this is such a great way to kick off the year. So as far as the 30 and 30s go, I love these. Like these are, really critical pieces to our business, like Pam said. And I love that both Danielle and Tracy touched on this as well, that this isn't a business that's just about selling product. Yes, obviously that we get paid off of product in our businesses, but it's really about teaching and developing people and helping people with their own goals. And so, I think Ashley did a really good job of kind of explaining the purpose of the calls, but I just want to recap and share with you guys, why we do these calls. Number one, we want to perfect our craft in Arbonne. Like Pam said, if we don't rip that Band-Aid off and get comfortable sharing the business, if you feel like maybe you've been focused too much on selling product and not growing your team, these calls will really help you shift that. We want to get good at asking questions. We want to get good at reading people. We want to learn how to address hesitations. And, I think that was Stacey had the stat that you were 35 times more successful, a higher success rate face-to-face. Like this is an opportunity for us to actually talk to real humans, right? And not just hide behind Messenger and text and all these things that, especially right now, we tend to do at a necessity, but this can allow us to really connect with people. So my challenge to you guys is I think Dina's going to talk about the challenge after, but if you're brand new, use this as practice calls. If you've been in the business 8 years like me, commit to doing a 30 and 30 challenge, right? And I love the time frame of getting all of your asks done in a really condensed period of time. So after this call, make your list this weekend, commit to sending the voice messages in the next 48 hours and booking your calendar. And if you've never done one of these, don't be afraid. Remember that you don't have to do these by yourself. Your upline's there to support you and help you. And like Pam said, after doing a few of these, you're going to gain confidence, you're going to feel ready. But in the meantime, you have people there to support you. So I want to kind of get into the nuts and bolts of how to do one of these calls. And I'm not going to spend time reading through the script. I can post that after for everyone. But I do want to share a few tips on how to have a really great presentation that you can incorporate as you start doing these calls. So I break the calls down into sort of 3 parts. The first part is your discovery or relationship building part. Your second part is the actual, is Arbonne for you presentation, and then you have your close. Okay, so I'm going to go through each part and share a few tips. So first part, discovery, relationship building. So this part of the call is really critical because this is where we can understand someone's problems or challenges or their desires, and really how Arbonne can be a possible solution for them. Because that's really our goal, right? We want to show people how Arbonne can add value and how they can see that fitting into their lives. If you jump right into the presentation and you just say, okay, I'm going to tell you everything about Arbonne, and you talk at someone the whole time, it's really hard to personalize it. It's really hard to show them, really paint that vision for them of how the business or products could help them. So I would say you want to spend around 5 minutes asking questions, learning about your prospect. You can't plan these out exactly. That's why you need to get experience doing them. But, I always say keep an eye on the time, because if we're asking someone for a 20-minute call, we don't want to spend 15 minutes talking about their questions and hesitations and then spend another 15 minutes presenting. We want to be really respectful of their time. And we also want to show them how we can fit this into the nooks and crannies, right? That this business can be fit into 20-minute intervals here and there. So if you're presenting to someone that you already know well, you might already know some pain points or desires in their life. You might, have thought about that ahead of time. But for someone that you might not have connected with in a while, or someone that you don't know very well, this part is really, really important. And if your upline's joining you, this is a really great opportunity for them to ask questions and discover pain points or desires, especially from someone that you might know well, that might feel a bit awkward for you to ask. So I like to lead the calls by asking really open-ended questions. Some of these I've gotten from Dina and other leaders, and you guys might have some suggestions as well. Feel free to type those in the chat. But some of the questions that I like to lead with are just a simple one, like, so tell me more about you. I'd love to get to know you better before we start. you know, and then a great follow-up question is always tell me more. If you don't know what to ask, tell me more. Have them expand on some of the things that they're sharing with you. Another great question is, what do you do? And you must love it. You know, it's funny, you wouldn't think someone would necessarily share their whole life story with you, but sometimes people will share their frustrations and their challenges. You know, do you have kids? What do you like to do for fun? A great question that I've liked recently with the current state of our world right now is, you know, how has your world changed this past year with everything going on? You know, what's your biggest challenge? What are you hoping for in 2021? Do you have a 5-year plan? What are you looking to accomplish in the next few years? Okay, so those are just a few examples, but be prepared with some questions up front. I know for me, that was something I really struggled with at the beginning, was knowing kind of what to ask and how to get people to open up. And it really is a skill that can be learned. So just practice it. And as a reminder, you know, it's okay to say at the start, like, I know this is for practice. If you're doing these calls as practice, or, you know, you're asking people to do these calls so that you can get, you know, experience doing these calls, it's okay to say, I know this is for practice, but, you know, I really want to make this call as real as possible for this training. So I'm going to ask you a few questions that I'd ask on a real call. Is that okay? Right? And ask their permission. So once you've explored a bit, you've spent a little bit of time getting to know someone better, getting to understand what's going on in their lives, you know, then you can move into the presentation. But I promise you guys, if you ask the right questions, you're going to come out of the discovery part feeling more confident and with a better understanding of how this business could help the person that you're chatting with. And make some notes. You know, we're doing these mostly on Zoom right now, so just have a little notepad, make some notes, and you can be sure to touch on some of those areas during the presentation and connect with them. And if you're unsure what I'm talking about with the presentation, it's the Is Arbonne For You that you can find on the source. I'm sure Dina has it on her site. We have it on our store. It's just a 2-pager. And you can literally like pull it up on Zoom and show it. You could send them a copy ahead of time. It's really up to you and kind of how you're doing it. But part 2 is actually, you know, doing that presentation. So after you've spent time asking questions, you can ask your prospect, you know, if it's okay if you now share a short overview of Arbonne and the business opportunity. And I like asking permission again, because it feels more like a conversation. It's not like, okay, we're going to get into this right now. Don't take too long to get to this part. This is, you know, meant to be an overview. It's not meant to be a deep dive into every part of Arbonne, everything you know about Arbonne. Creating curiosity is really important, right? Because it's going to lead to conversations and questions. So avoid like getting sucked into the weeds and really use the script as a guideline. And my biggest tip about this is don't worry about perfection. Perfect is not going to help you sponsor. I think often what can hold us back in this business or from even doing these presentations is we worry that we're not going to nail the presentation, or we might fumble, or we're going to seem nervous, or we're going to say the wrong thing. But that's not a bad thing. Like, I say this to my team all the time, and this is really, really important. When someone is listening to you share about the business, you're talking to you about the business, there are basically 2 questions that they're asking themselves. The first question is, do I want to do this? So do they see the value? Like, could this offer value to my life? Are they inspired? And that's going to come through in your connection with them and your story and, you know, that discovery period, just as much as it is through the information that you're presenting. Okay. So the first question is, do I want to do this? The second question that they're asking themselves is this: could I do this? Are you making it look really hard? Are you making it seem like you need to have a super deep understanding of the company and the industry and the compensation plan? You know, your presentation is super dialed. You need to be this perfect speaker. You know, do we need to be professional and prepared? Absolutely, we do. We don't want to come across as unprepared. We don't want to come across as, you know, lazy or nonchalant or not caring about our business. But please, please, please don't let perfect hold you back from doing these. You do not need to be perfect. Okay, so that's the presentation part. Part 3 is the close. So I'll be really blunt. There is no point in doing any of this presentation. You're wasting your time if you are not going to ask your prospects for feedback. So this is the part where people chicken out, right? They're like, but okay, I've done the presentation. Okay, thank you for meeting with me. It's like, don't do that. So be prepared with your wrap up. Be prepared. We have some great follow-up questions. The first thing I like to do when I wrap up is I just simply say, do you have any questions? You know, or is there anything that I didn't cover? Okay, really simple. And if there's questions or there's things that they didn't cover, awesome, they're going to share them. Then I go right into the scale of 1 to 5 question, which I'm sure many of you guys are already using, which sounds something like this. You know, I really appreciate you listening to the short overview. I'd love to ask you now, on a scale of 1 to 5, you know, 1 being, I'm interested in maybe trying some products right now and going that route, and 5 being, you know, sign me up, I'm ready to build a business. Where do you see yourself after learning more? Okay. And then this is where you need to have some preparation as well. Okay. So they're going to give you a number. They're going to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Okay. So if they give you a 1, great. Tell me about your health or skin goals. If they're a 1, you are not there to convince them that they are a 5, right? Like nobody wants to be pressured. We are not in the business of convincing people to do this business. If someone is a 1, they're telling you now is not the right time. Cool. Well, let's see how the products might be able to help them. So what are your health or skin goals? I'd love to send you samples or make a recommendation or add you to a 15-minute event that I have coming up. You know, you can kind of plan out ahead of time, knowing where they live, whether they're already an existing client, you know, what products they might be using. So you want to create another exposure with the product. Okay. So meet them where they're at if they're a 1. If they're a 2 to 4, great. I always say great. It's great. If they're a 1, it's great. It's never a oh, it's great no matter what. So great. What information would you feel that you need in order to move to a higher number? Okay. And then you just be quiet and you listen. So listen to their hesitations, listen to their objections. And this is where you want to be prepared to offer third-party tools. You are not the expert. Okay. You don't want to sit and answer all their questions on the call. Again, because, you know, if it's a simple question, of course, you could answer a simple question. But if someone wants to understand the comp plan better, or they have a concern about how much time they need, why not send them the video of a DA or iStory of someone who has 5 kids and worked full time when they started their business and is now, you know, a 4-wide ENVP, right? Again, we don't want to be the expert. We don't need to be the expert. If we're the expert, then they're going to be thinking, gosh, I could not do this. I don't know all this information. I don't have time to learn all this information. But if you send them a link to a video that answers a question or suggests that they hop on a 3-way call, they're going to be thinking to themselves, okay, I could do that. I could send a link, right? So that's really, really important. So use the third-party tools. Don't be the expert. It's not just about convenience, but it's really showing prospects the simplicity of what we do, okay? If they say, and tell me this has never happened to anyone, they say, I just need to think about it. I just need to think about it. You're like, oh, what does that mean? What do you mean you need to think about it? That can be a bit tricky. So in that case, I'll say something like, you know, I understand. Why don't we do this? I'll send you a couple short videos that you can watch. And our team has like a prospecting s'more that has a short DA. It has the Flourish video, a couple of short videos, maybe, you know, 15 minutes of content. So I'll say, why don't I send you a couple short videos you can watch, and we can pick a time in the next couple of days that we can hop back on Zoom and I can answer any questions that might pop up in the meantime. And then book that call right then. Okay, if you don't book that follow-up in that moment, there's a good chance you're probably not going to get them back onto a Zoom or a call. So what I like to do is ask how much time they'll need to watch the videos. I think this is an Eric Worre thing. You know, the videos are about 15 minutes, you know, when do you think you'll have time to watch them? Great, you know, by Sunday night, awesome. Well, why don't we book time Monday evening after you get home from work? And then it's in your calendars and you have a follow-up. And that gives you permission to follow up, right? Another option is you could add them to the Bond Biz Benefits page. You could tag them in a couple posts there that you think they would relate to. Another question you can ask if someone says, you know, I just need to think about it is, you know, other than, you know, needing to think about it, do you have any other hesitations? Because often that is sort of like a mask for something else. And so some other question might pop up, okay? Another option you can offer if someone's in a 2 to 4 range and they don't have a specific hesitation is to ask them to host a 15-minute Facebook event. So, you know, a great way for you to learn about Arbonne and have an opportunity to get, you know, some freebies and deep discounts on products. You can invite a few friends to one of my 15-minute Facebook events. And the reason I say invite to my Facebook event versus host is because I think sometimes people see host as being this like big arduous task that's going to take a lot of their time and there's a lot of work, and we know there's not. But I just say, like, invite them, you know, invite some friends to one of my events. They're short and sweet. They'll give you a great opportunity to learn more. And if you decide the business is for you, you can decide to turn that into your event. You could earn rewards and commissions from that. Okay. And then if they don't decide to join after that, you've had an opportunity to expand your network and help them learn more. So again, it's, you know, learning to read people, and this closing part, like, you can't really plan out because you don't know what their hesitations are. You don't know what they're going to say. And for type A's like me, like, that can be really hard. I really struggled with this because we want certainty, right? Like, but there's no certainty in these calls. We really have to get comfortable with that uncertainty. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with experience. You're going to make mistakes, embrace that. If I told you all the horror stories, I'm sure the VPs on here, where I've messed up on calls, you know, early on in my business, even recently, like, you got to laugh about it, right? Embrace the mistakes. The mistakes are how you're going to learn, they're how you're going to get better, they're going to be how you become a boss and just crush your business in 2020. And then what happens is you start having fun with these, right? And that's where the magic happens. Like when you start having fun with these calls and people can feel your energy and your excitement, that's where it really gets exciting. And then of course, if someone's a 5, guys, awesome. I think you're making a fabulous decision. I'm so excited to partner with you. You know, do you have some time right now? If they do, get them signed up. If not, schedule a time and then obviously take them through the getting started steps. So be ready ahead of time when you do these calls. You know, have your tools ready, have your calendar to set follow-ups and book events or sign somebody up. But again, the more of these you do, the more comfortable you're going to feel flowing through them, making recommendations. But ultimately, our goal is always to move someone to the next exposure to help them make a decision. So question for you guys, who wants to have new business partners join them this month? Me, I do, I totally do. So what I see happen with these calls is people, they book like 2 or 3 of these and they're like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then those first 2 or 3 people don't do anything. So they get discouraged and they stop. They're like, this isn't working. You know, I'm not good at this, whatever those stories we tell ourselves. But we know that this business is a numbers game. And if you've ever heard the analogy of, you know, a card deck and looking for aces, because that's what we're doing. We're looking for aces. We're trying to be the best ace in our business and we're looking for other people to join us. This business is like looking for aces in a deck of cards. So you shuffle that deck up, you start flipping cards to find your 4 aces. Sometimes those aces are literally right at the top. Sometimes they're sprinkled through and sometimes they're at the bottom. So don't stop until you find those aces because they're there, right? So the more of these you do, the more confidence, the more skilled, and the better results you get. Jim Rohn, I listened to a great training from Jim Rohn. It's called, you know, Building Your Network Marketing Business. I think it's an audio you can still find on YouTube. And one of the things that he shared is that, you know, when we start our business, we can expect about 1 out of 10 people that we present the business to will join us, 1 out of 10. But as we get more experience, as we get more confidence, that number is going to climb to 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 or 5 out of 10. So who would love to have, you know, 3 business partners join them in a month with the same effort? Like I would. So, you know, really commit to this being a really critical part of your business and take this challenge seriously. Like do 30 of these in the next 30 days. Or if you're a keener, fit them in the next 22 days that we have left in the month. But go out, let's make this an epic January in 2021. And that's what I've got for you guys today. So I hope that was helpful.
That was awesome, Miss Kelly. You had so many great things there. Didn't you guys just take notes? And it seemed so much easier, didn't it, watching Kelly talk about this?
It was wonderful, Kelly.
It was great. It was just so awesome. You know, let me take you off the spotlight here. You know, there were such great things that Kelly talked about, and I loved about how the questions she asked at the close. And the more questions that you can put through it, that is the key. And so when we heard all of these simple parts of the business today, we wanted to show you, and I'm going to share my screen with you and show you. Let me see, get this up here. Okay, we really wanted to show you the simple system for success for, you've seen this, right, Pam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're good.
Simple system for success for 2021. You guys, you know, I've really thought a lot about this. We don't know how much longer this interesting life that we're in is going to be. We really don't. We don't know if by April, May, June, July, August. But here's what I've always thought during tough times, because in 33 years, you can imagine I've had some interesting times inside of an Arbonne business. You can either embrace it. I always tell people you're either going to watch it happen or you're going to make it happen. So you're either going to use this time to explode your business, or you're going to watch other people use this time to explode their business. You know, Pam was sharing with you, and goodness gracious, what's the MVP from Canada that you were sharing with us?
Carly Pynchon.
Carly, I was going Claire, but I knew that wasn't right. You know, Carly jumped in and decided last March, she had to figure out a way to do her business virtually. She had to figure out a way to grow it when she couldn't do live events. So she jumped on and they embraced the practice phone calls. They embraced the Facebook parties. They embraced all the things they could do virtually, and her business has just exploded. That's the reason they had her on to talk. So you've got to decide. So we wanted to share with you the simple way to do the business right now. So first of all, is to start out when you get a new person to do a Zoom launch for them. And you do it with they're going to do it with their sponsor, Upline. And Pam actually showed us last Monday night how to do the Zoom launch. She's got it all written out. She's got it absolutely, because what we want to do when we start a new person is we want the friends and family, neighbors, coworkers, everybody to know that your new consultant is very serious about their business. And we also want to let them know the 3 ways that they can help the new consultant and by supporting them. So the first way is for them to hopefully buy some product, become a preferred client, get started. And when you think about where all the different products that Arbonne's offering, to use those products instead of going and buying them at some, big box store. And so the first way is to buy some products. So that's the Zoom launch. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, wow, I would really love to get my business again, get going again, why not do 2 Zoom launches for yourself? Go back and invite your friends and your family and relaunch yourself and have your upline help you do that. And tell the people that get on your Zoom launch with you how serious you are about your business in 2021 and going to the next level, or maybe you're going to want to go to 2 levels up in the next few months. So that could be a great way you could start you or your new consultants. The second way, you're going to tell the people inside of that Zoom launch how they can support you or support your new consultant, is to do that 30 and 30 challenge. That we need, that Suzanne really needs to practice. She needs to be able to practice talking about Arbonne and doing an overview. So you could help her so much if you would let her do a practice call with you. She's going to gain confidence and how she talks about the business and our company and our products. And it would mean the world to her for that support. So by doing that, when they get done with that launch call, they're going to call up their friends and message them, leave a message, call them, say, thank you so much for jumping on that Zoom with me tonight. That meant the world to me. And I would just love it if you would do one of those practice calls with me. Boom. And if they can get 10, this is what I've always found, this works so good. If they can schedule 10 and do those 10 in their first few days in the business, from those 10, they're going to get people who are interested in doing the business with them, but also to hold a Facebook party. Now, I loved what Kelly said. I thought that was so brilliant. When she says, instead of saying, host a party for me, she said, jump on and join one of my, how did you say that? I've got it written down here and can't find it. Kel, tell me that again.
Invite some of your friends to jump on one of my 15-minute events, or I liked what Danielle said about favorite things events, or whatever you want to call it, but basically jump on one of my events.
Yeah, one of my favorite things events. And I love that because there's something about hosting that people get freaked out about. But by wording it like that, they say, oh, sure, I could do that. I can invite a few friends over, few friends to your event. Boom. That's it. So this is the simple system for success. Do those launches so they know their friends in business, how they can support their friends, do the 30 and 30 challenge, and 8 Facebook pop-ups parties or in-person events. Now, with the Zoom calls, if you are somewhere that you're not in a lockdown, because we've got consultants all over the world that are listening to this, in New Zealand, the UK, in Australia, Canada, the US, if you're somewhere where you can do an in-person coffee event, that's going to be more effective than doing a Zoom call. And when you do a coffee, in-person event, for your Is Arbonne for You, bring him a little gift for meeting with you, or buy him a cup of coffee, bring him samples, cute, you know, I just have to show you. I have these samples already made up, and this is what I send out in the mail to people and give to people when they meet with me. So just by having these already made up, it really, and it has the Age Well, it has a shake, and it has the fizzies in it. And they're already made up. So if somebody does do a in person, I can bring this for them, or I can pop it in the mail. So you want to make sure that you're using all of this. So you guys, this is it. This is the system. This is our system for 2021. It's this simple. And if you're doing this on every month on a monthly basis. Now, if you're building your business, you're going to want to do 4 of these pop-up virtuals or Zooms per week, because we all know that some work better than others, but that is going to give you getting in front of enough new people per week. So I love it what Tracy said about that you want to book a new one every day and have one completed 4 days a week. That's going to give your business just an absolute pop. So what do we have going on this month? I want Pam to tell you how what we just showed you is going to help you with that.
Yes, and that's why we're so excited about this call this morning. And thank you to the awesome speakers that shared, because you guys definitely got all of us so excited. But we also have to think, like, what is Arbonne giving us this month? Arbonne has gone above and beyond again to help us get our next year, 2021, that we're in now, kicked off to the best start ever. So they're giving us that great promotion where you can get yourself to district manager or area manager in 1 month. So that is a really great opportunity for anybody on your team that's an IC to take advantage of that, or anybody new that you're going to go out and talk to after today's training. So one of the ways that you can look at doing this is enrolling 11 new PCs. Now, you heard Danielle's numbers, what she did in 2020. So nobody can tell you that was impossible, that nobody can do that, because Danielle just proved to us that you can, going out there and enrolling new PCs. So you can see here, enrolling 10 new PCs to purchase the nutrition, and here are the numbers. It is actually that easy. And we know that this is my background in nutrition, is there's 50% of the people that are ready to tackle their healthy living to be and beyond journey right away, first week in January. And then there's the other half that wait till the middle of the month until, you know, they really have sunk their teeth into a couple weeks and they're like, okay, now I'm ready to do this. There's so many people out there that are ready to jump onto the 30-day program. And you just need to go out there and talk to people. And so you can see this by purchasing those 10 and then you doing your own. This is what the QV works out to be in all the countries. And that's just one way. I'm going to show you another way. Dina's going to show the next one. This is a really, really fun one. If you think, wow, I can't get in front of, you know, that many people, or not everybody is willing to do this, I find that everybody that's thinking about this has somebody else in their life that also wants to get fitter, feel their best, new you sort of thing. So if you could find 6 people and then 6, and they find 1 person each, that's also how you can do it. And that's where it's always so exciting when you're launching a new business partner, because all of their new is your new. That's why we get to count the new and you for 1 month. And so getting somebody to find, you know, you find 6 and they find 6 through doing these parties and jumping on your events, this is how you're going to do it. And then I think there's one more that shows even a little bit better. Okay, and this is the next one. So enroll 3 preferred clients. And this is when we're really starting to use the host rewards. We have a great host rewards program. So you could actually ask a whole bunch of people to jump onto one of your events and ask them to bring friends with them. And if you could get 3 that were excited, they could have their friends sign up. They could end up getting their products at an amazing discount, up to 80% off. And everybody still ends up winning, because now the host is getting their products at a discount and you are being able to get yourself to that new promotion. And then I think the last one is getting into that 15,000 range. And I just want to before we go into here, and there's a bunch of people on the call that might be independent consultants, and to promote to area in 1 month, you must be a district manager. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say. But don't let that make you lower the bar, you guys. If you're an independent consultant that has yet to promote to that first level, why not go after this goal yourself? Why not you promote to district and then help 4 other people promote to district? Yes, it doesn't mean that you promote to area this month, but you will promote to area next month, and you'll have an incredible commission check that ends up coming to you at the beginning of the month. Danielle said the ugly cry. You will end up doing an ugly cry if you tackle and go after this goal. So why not help other people, not only with their health, but the wellness, and then also their pocketbook, right? Because that's what everybody is in here, because we're creating businesses, and that business is to help other people. So that is the other way to get in there and help more people go for that goal of 15,000 QV. Now, if you're a district manager, I should have asked everybody, district manager on this call, who's going after this? Have you guys set your sights on this goal to go after area by February 1? Why not? Go for it.
Drew, I would love to have them put in the chat right now if they're going for the 1 month DM, or if they're going for the 1 month AM. See who's really going for that. I think that would be really exciting. Yeah, so I think just really committing, you know, I have to tell you a couple of stories as we wrap up here. You know, when you decide, it's amazing. Each time that you make that decision to really go for it, that makes all the difference in the world. And I remember being at a big meeting, and we had an MVP ask who's going to go for a region, and people stood up and they you know, made a decision right then to go to region, and she didn't go ask if anybody was going to go for nation. So I yelled out, I said, aren't you going to ask who's going to go for nation? And she goes, okay, Dina, who's going to go for nation? I'm like an idiot. I can't believe I did that. There was about 250 people in the room. And so I stood up and I said, I'm going to go for nation. And this was March, and we had to promote by June. And so that was the commitment.
Dina, can I interrupt? Since
Sure.
you're telling your own story, I have to tell you, she didn't just stand up and say she was going to be a national vice president. She ran back and forth. She was at the back of the room. She ran from one side of the room to the other, saying it over and over again. Do you think she raised her level of commitment?
Boy, did I
did
ever.
it.
Because I really committed in front of all those people. I went home and I said, oh my heck, what did you just do? You're sitting at 68,000. That's where my volume was at that moment. And I had to get to 192,000. And I had to do it within 2.5 months. So was that a big push for me? Yeah, absolutely. I just couldn't imagine embarrassing myself like the way I had without doing what I said I was going to do. So yes, I did get into qualification in June, and I promoted out August 1st. So with 192,000.
So they don't have to run back and forth across a room. They can just put it in the chat, and it's still going to help them raise their level of intention and commitment.
Yeah, I mean, because it really, what we're really here today is to help you with a plan of how, so we're finishing up today. We're doing a 30 and 30 challenge. What is the single most, the activity that's going to give you the best results to do what Phoebe said, to promote? It's getting in front of 30 people to tell them the whole story. So that's why we're ending with a 30 and 30 challenge. So we have a 30 and 30 challenge to do that, get in front of 30 people in the next 30 days. But we as national vice presidents will be posting an incentive, because what we really want you to do, we want you to kickstart that. So we're challenging you to do 10 by, today is the 9th. So we're challenging you to do 10, get in front of 10 people by the 17th. You guys, these are 15 to 20-minute calls. People are home. They're not going places right now. People are not seeing movies today. They're home. And so this is the time to absolutely get in front of those people and share. So if you're committed to that, let your upline know. If you haven't done one of these before, ask them if they'll jump on and do a couple with you. We're doing 10 by the 17th. That is our big push and our big incentive. And then we're going to go for a 30 and 30 because we want to help your first quarter be knocked out of the park. So we'll post a 30 and 30 form for you to fill out. So what are you going to say? You know, a couple things to say is if you're not a brand new consultant, is just to say, hey, you know what? I accepted a challenge with inside of my Arbonne team today to get in front of 10 people in the next 17, on the next 8 days and give them an overview of Arbonne. You know, our company has had extraordinary growth last year, 30% growth every month in each market. And I just want to share with people what we're all about and what's up with this. But I would really love to share it with you. Would you be open to letting me jump on a call with you for 20 minutes? We can catch up, see what's going on in each other's life. And I would just love to share it with you. I don't know if it's going to be for you or not, but no matter what, it's going to be great practice for me. And you may know somebody that this could be perfect for. Boom. That's what you say. That's what you say to get your 10. So what I want from you, I want to know right now, I want you to put it in the chat right now if you're going to do the 10 by the 17th challenge. If you are, I want you to put your name in it because we're going to write down names. We're taking down names. So I want you to put it inside that challenge right now if you're going to be one of the ones who will have talked to 10 by the 17th.
It won't let me send these out. I don't know
Dina?
why.
So put it in the
Dina,
chat now.
Dina, they can also say, you know, that practicing, people want to help you. And you can say, I have a new presentation that I'm learning and I've been challenged to practice 10 of these, you know, in the next 8 days. Would you be one for me? You can still use that. Even, I mean, like I could say it, and I've been doing this
Absolutely. You
more
can go
than
back to your PCs and say that. Hey, you guys, I got a new presentation and I'm not really confident on it yet. Would you be willing to jump on a call with me and let me practice and do that for you? Do that with you. Would you be up to that? Could you give me 15, 20 minutes? Boom. Yeah, people don't say no. It's amazing how they say yes to doing that. So if you're gonna do that, put it in the chat. Let us know. Are you up for really growing your business this year? This has been so awesome. I want to thank so much our trainers today and thank them so much for giving up their Saturday. I know Danielle went over to her, I think you're over at your mom's house, so that it was quiet without having little people and a baby in the background. And Tracy, I thank you so much for jumping on from the East Coast with us, and for Kelly Wren for really giving us some great ideas on how to present this. So I want to thank you guys for jumping on with us today and being willing to give up your Saturday morning, but most important to invest in yourself. So anything that any of the Pam or Barb or Phoebe would like to say as we close out this morning?
I'm writing down the people whose names are in my nation, and I just want them to know, all of you to know, making this commitment is so smart, and it's going to help you really kick off your year.
So we have 79 messages. So I'm going to leave this up. I'm not going to close out the Zoom so we can see
Yeah.
who all
We've got
said
some
yes.
writing to do. But it's, you know what, guys, this has been such a great a start to the weekend. It's a great way to start your year. All I can say is that your future self and your family will really be grateful that you decided to do this. If you really embrace it and you jump into the pool, into the deep end, both feet, it's really the only way to do this. And it doesn't matter if you're perfect. I think it was one of my favorite lines of the whole morning. You want to be prepared and be professional, but how can somebody model perfect? So get out there, be messy, be imperfect, and just go for it.
Thanks, Barb. Anything you want to say, Pam, as we close up?
No, I just think that we really want to look at what we can do in the next 10 days, because I really want to paint that vision. Imagine those people that you're going to talk to. You're going to send a message in the next day or two. You're going to get on a call with them. They're going to say yes to you and your business, and you're going to help them promote by January 1 or by February 1, excuse me. So I want you guys to think of that too, like dream big. Don't think about the people that have said no to you in the past. Think about those people on that deck of cards, like Kelly said, those aces that you're going to flip in the next couple days, and you're going to have a new partner.
Yeah, the cool thing is just, I just want to give you one last thought. You know, maybe they won't say yes to the business right now, but you're going to get them on a presentation, hosting something for you by jumping on one of your events. And then it goes from there. Remember, people need how many exposures? This is just the first exposure, but because you get to tell the whole story, they're going to say yes to so many more things. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a fantastic weekend, and we cannot wait to see. I've got a form that's going to be posted that you're going to fill in the person's name, the date of your is Arbonne for you, what the outcome is, and what the next step is for you. So I'll post that. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.
And Dina,
Yes.
Dina, on the website, you've posted the new script for Is Arbonne for you, or you will be, right?
I haven't. I'll get it, everything posted after, and make changes to our Success Line support next week to reflect all of this. Okay, but you'll get you can get everything going and get posted, and we'll get that script out to you today. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Dina and Phoebe,
Yes.
this is Julie Arnheim.
Hi, Julie.
I just really wanted to say thank you so much for kind of adopting me and being so supportive of my journey.
Our
Means the world to me.
Julie. Our pleasure. Where do you live?
I'm in Pittsburgh,
Well, awesome. We're glad that you could be on with us today.
and I know Phoebe knows this, Dina, but I don't think you do. I had brain cancer diagnosed in February.
Oh.
And so I am totally relaunching. And the whole verbiage of I have a new presentation and I'm not confident on it yet. Can I practice it with you? That just rolled off my lips right now so easily.
Awesome. I'm so glad. That's so nice to hear, Julie. Well, you know, gosh, I just pray for you and that 2021 is fantastic for you. And do that. That's exactly what you're going to say to people. And you know what? They're going to want to absolutely support you.
But really what I want to do, and I have one of my downline on listening. I'm here for her. And you showed how much I can be here for her.
That's wonderful.
the 30 for 30.
Yep. That's
So I'm so
wonderful.
excited. Thank you so much.
Hey,
I'm more
my
inspired
pleasure.
after this training than any training in 9 years.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for
You're
joining
welcome.
us, Julie. Have a great one.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Are you okay? Are you okay? Dicker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, they were noisy when they came in here, weren't they?
Because when they first came here, I don't know if you heard it. He was outside the door. He yells out, "What's the password?" So he comes back and I said, "Man, Mom's in the meeting." And he goes, I said, "Well, okay, tomorrow, Monday when you're working, I'm going to come and yell at your door. What's the password? To see how you know that."
Thank you. What password was he talking about?
Oh, just to the kiddies. What's the password?
Oh, geez.
You see that cute picture that we took of those little kitties? I sent it to you, Nina. I sent it to the whole family. It's so cute.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I posted it on your Facebook page too, by the way. Just thought it was really cute. Do you want to end this call?
Yeah, I'm just looking to see who all, I asked him for a challenge. I don't know how to get rid of him. I just want to make sure I've got everybody down.
Let's look at this picture.
Oh, they're so cute.
So I put it on your Facebook page also. It's really quite cute.
I didn't get very many people going for it.